You don't despise them, you just don't respond anymore. What once cut deep into your heart now feels like a faint ripple across your calm. The drama that used to unravel your peace, that could hijack your entire day, now seems like background noise from a chapter you've closed. This is not numbness, it's freedom. This is the quiet power that blooms when your soul has done its healing and returned to its core. Carl Jung taught that individuation, the path to becoming whole, is not about constant reaction, but about cultivating inner calm. To detach emotionally doesn't mean shutting off your feelings. It means rising above the cycles of chaos where reaction once defined you. When we're caught in someone else's emotional web, our feelings aren't fully our own. They're triggered, pulled, shaped by patterns we haven't yet unraveled. But when you begin to untangle your psyche through shadow work, something remarkable happens. You stop merging with the turmoil. You used to argue, to justify, to feel responsible for every emotional wave in the room. Now, you simply watch, not out of coldness, but clarity, not from indifference, but from a higher perspective. Emotional neutrality isn't the absence of care, it's the presence of self. There's a vast difference between detachment born of growth and avoidance rooted in fear. True detachment comes from years of facing your inner scars, tracing your pain back to its roots, sitting with discomfort until it no longer controls you. In that process, a sacred space opens. A place where you no longer need to fix, defend, or prove yourself. This isn't the silence of resentment. It's the silence of self-respect. It's your nervous system refusing to be a stage for someone else's unresolved pain. It's the calm of a soul that no longer needs drama to feel alive. Jung said, you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it faith, and you will call it fate. Emotional detachment, when it stems from inner work, is a sign you've taken back control of your story. You've stopped reacting to others' projections as if they were truth. Their anger isn't yours to carry. Their confusion isn't your burden. Their approval isn't your lifeline. You no longer react because you no longer resonate with their chaos. This isn't apathy, it's evolution. On the journey of individuation, you realize your emotional energy is finite. Jung called this energy libido. Not just a sexual drive, but the life force of your soul, fuel for your thoughts, feelings, and purpose. Once you recognize its value, you guard it fiercely. Every reaction is a choice, a transaction. When you over-explain, chase validation, or spiral in overthinking, you're spending that energy. It costs you peace, time, and even your sense of self. You get swept into someone else's storm, performing in a drama that pulls you from your center. Over time, that leaves you not just tired, but lost, disconnected from who you are because you gave your energy to chaos that was never yours to resolve. That's the hidden toll of emotional reactivity. It feels righteous in the moment, but it leaves a void, a depletion that's not peace, but exhaustion. That's when the real work begins. You start noticing where your energy flows, how one comment can derail your day, how one unresolved argument can haunt your mind for weeks. With that awareness comes a shift. You realize not everyone deserves access to your emotional space. Your presence, your empathy, your time, they're not obligations, they're sacred gifts. What once felt like passion, drama, intensity, emotional highs, now just feels like static. Not because you've gone cold, but because your inner rhythm has shifted. The chaos that once mirrored your own unresolved pain now feels out of sync. So you stop engaging. You choose stillness over the dance of dysfunction. To reclaim your energy is to reclaim your life. It's saying, I won't invest in conversations that drain me. I won't perform for those who refuse to understand me. I won't sacrifice my peace for the sake of connection. This isn't detachment, it's devotion to your own growth, to the life you're building from within. The more you protect your energy, the clearer you see. The less you engage in reactive cycles, the more deeply you feel your own presence. This is what growth looks like. Not rising above others, but returning to yourself so fully that chaos no longer pulls you in. You guard your energy not from fear, but from reverence. The person you're becoming can't thrive on the habits that once kept you in survival mode. That shift is liberation, but it comes with a stillness that can feel unfamiliar. After years of defining yourself through reaction and the need to be seen, stepping back can feel like isolation. But it's not isolation, it's initiation. Jung called this the sacred solitude of individuation, a necessary step to reclaim what's true and whole within you. When you stop resonating with dysfunction, you may find yourself alone, not because you're unlovable, but because your old connections were tied to a version of you that no longer exists. Your calm feels like distance to those who thrive on chaos. Your boundaries feel like rejection to those who relied on your lack of them. Your silence forces others to confront parts of themselves they've avoided. That's the price of growth. You lose connections, but you find yourself. You grieve not just those you lose, but the old you who needed them, who tolerated the noise, who played roles like fixer or peacemaker. That version fades, leaving unfamiliar but sacred ground, quiet, open, still. Your mind, once consumed by emotional triggers, now holds space for clarity. Your heart, once caught in reaction, now beats steadily, unmoved by what once felt overwhelming. This space is sacred, but it can be disorienting. You'll crave someone to meet you in this stillness to see your growth. Sometimes they will. Often they won't, not yet. Jung taught that individuation means shedding the masks we wear to fit in, confronting what lies beneath. This process is raw, quiet, and deeply authentic. When loneliness comes, embrace it. It means the noise is gone, the distractions are fading, the unhealthy attachments are dissolving, that quiet, something powerful awakens. You're no longer defined by what you endure, but by what you choose to protect. The world may not know how to hold this new you, but you do. You hold yourself in sovereignty, whispering, "I'm here, and I'm not abandoning myself again." This journey didn't happen overnight. It took storms, betrayals, and patterns that repeated until you learned their lessons. You didn't detach to prove something, you detached to heal. You no longer chase closure because peace is something you give yourself. You've reclaimed your energy from relationships that drained you, your voice from conversations that silenced you. You've stopped editing your truth to keep others comfortable. When people say you've changed, they're right. They're sensing the loss of the version of you that prioritized their comfort over your growth. This is your power, becoming someone who doesn't need to prove anything because you found belonging within. Jung spoke of projection, where we see our unhealed selves in others. Before you faced your pain, you attracted relationships that mirrored it. The chaos wasn't random, it was a mirror. But as you healed, triggers lost their grip. What once sparked a spiral now barely registers. Their anger, their silence, their guilt trips, they no longer pull you in. You respond from your center, knowing their projections aren't your truth. Their outbursts aren't your fault. Their inability to connect deeply doesn't define your worth. This neutrality, which they might call cold, is your liberation. You've set boundaries, not to punish, but to honor your growth. Emotional neutrality isn't indifference. It's the result of integrating your shadow, embracing the parts of yourself you once denied. The need to fix or rescue others fades as you release the urge to control. You've seen what happens when you pour your light into someone ruled by their unhealed wounds. You lose yourself. Now your boundaries say, "I won't sacrifice my peace to keep the chaos alive." That's not passive, it's fiercely intentional. It's a quiet no that carries the weight of countless yeses to yourself. When you step back from someone's chaos, not with anger but with calm, something powerful happens. You become a mirror they can't ignore. Jung taught that the shadow, the parts of ourselves we repress, doesn't vanish. It lingers, waiting to be faced. Your refusal to engage forces others to confront their own shadows. You're not punishing them. You're simply choosing yourself. To those unready to face their wounds, your boundaries feel like abandonment. But they're a revelation, disrupting their patterns by saying, "I'm no longer available for your projections." They might call you distant or uncaring, but don't mistake their discomfort for your fault. You're preserving your energy, stepping out of cycles that demanded you carry their pain. That's not cruelty, it's individuation. Jung said, "Only the paradox comes anywhere near to comprehending the fullness of life." Your neutrality is that paradox, calm yet powerful, detached yet deeply present. You pass through chaos without being shaken, not because you're numb, but because you've outgrown its frequency. Jung reminded us that unhealed wounds seek resonance. The chaos you once danced with reflected your own unhealed parts. Now, what once triggered you passes through like a breeze. Your peace rewires your nervous system, rewriting your story. Those who knew you in chaos can't find you in the stillness, not because you've blocked them, but because they only knew the you who reacted. Your peace disrupts their script. Without your reaction, the drama collapses, leaving them to face themselves. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is what that looks like. A refusal to return to cycles you've healed through. You're not numb, you're whole. What others see as emptiness is your sacred fullness, a peace so steady it doesn't flinch. You haven't lost your ability to feel, you've gained the power to discern. You haven't stopped loving, you've stopped losing yourself in love. You're no longer the character in someone else's story, but the witness of your own. This is your power, to feel deeply without drowning, to love without losing yourself, to hold truth without carrying its weight. This is your return. Now, claim it. Pause and reflect. Who do you no longer react to? What does that say about your growth? Share your story in the comments. Declare, "Choose my peace." Let that be your anchor. Then, take this moment to honor your journey. Like, subscribe, and join this community of souls embracing their evolution. Together, we'll keep stepping into who we were always meant to be. See you in the next video.